Hello, everyone. It's now 2:53 p.m. in the afternoon. So the video that I did this morning, um, I have to do it all over again. Well, excuse me. The reason why I deleted the video earlier was because I I named names and mentioned the man. I named his name and mentioned him. In the video and said that that I figured that he was ignoring me on purpose. But in the video that I did, I meant to do it like at least between 20 and 30 minutes, but it turned out to be between 45 and 47 minutes, probably longer than that. So what a coincidence! What a coincidence that immediately after I turned the video off, like got done recording the video and then started uploading it, that's when he finally called me. He finally called me. What's that? So they have something in the ceiling, and I don't know what kind of flying bug or what thing it was. So the fact that he called me back and and we talked, um, he called me back and we talked, and so I didn't know how to go and you know edit just that part out. So I deleted the whole video because I tried to have some patience and I really did think he was ignoring me. And he probably was because then later on he told me that because I'm homeless, they can't offer me the ticket to work services while I'm homeless. Excuse me. So when I dealt with the America Works program, I don't think I was homeless during that time. I actually had a place to live, but I did not know that Social Security ticket to work agencies cannot help you while you're homeless. So that's like a vicious cycle. But yeah, as I said, right when I started to try to, look for jobs and try to get the ball rolling, we're trying to improve and better things. That's when that um, skank shit me with the 666 kids. That's when she did what she did. And I'm back homeless in this predicament now. But perp or not, gang stalker or not, narcissistic abusers always set you up to lose everything, to be forced to have to lose everything. And so now I'm like in a state of psychological, mental, and emotional deep depression. Like I'm feeling very depressed right now. So the same gang stalkers the online gang stalkers, they teamed up with the housing authority and the neighbors and the landlady to conspire to have me, back homeless again. And then the online gang stalkers dare me to beg or ask for any help or ask for anything. And they're desperate enough that they will lie to people to make sure I don't get any help. But if I don't continue to, you know, fight for help, fight to get help trying to survive, then I will end up dying. I will end up dying, whether it be murder or just death, whether it be sickness or starvation or, you know, excuse me, dying from bad weather. I don't know if it's raining all day and I don't know if it's still raining, but it had been raining today. So after I uploaded the previous video, after I uploaded that video, I had, well, two people helped me out, you know. So I had enough. I was going to go back to the store from yesterday. Excuse me. But, the walk was kind of dangerous and unsafe. And then it was raining. So I ended up ordering DoorDash. And the DoorDasher, she was cheerful, nice, and enthusiastic. But, the restaurant that I ordered from, the food was really good. But they didn't give me, I was missing the boiled potatoes. So thankfully, DoorDash solved the problem with no issue and gave me a credit, you know, for my, you know, so I have a almost $5 credit. So, I ordered enough food for 2 meals because I had no breakfast this morning, and I didn't eat or drink anything, nothing to eat or drink until after 1:30 this afternoon. And I guess there was so much food that I ate. It took me almost an hour to eat all that food. But the food that I had for dinner, I put it. It's a excuse me. I put it in the refrigerator to save. For a few hours later, probably like 7 or 8 o'clock, I might eat the dinner. But I am stuffed. So, so well, yesterday for breakfast I had pancakes and like an egg omelet, egg and cheese omelet and some milk. And then I had like it was the second meal I ate. Like I don't know how many eggs that was, but that looked like a big fat omelet with a lot of eggs. Excuse me, a lot of eggs. But I don't know how many eggs that was, but it definitely had to have been more than 4 eggs. So then I was full for a long time, and then I ate. It was between the hours between like a super late lunch or a super early dinner. Excuse me, and I had like it was some fish, shrimp, and mashed potatoes, corn, and um, cornbread, and I had a bag of chips and some Powerade. I was really hungry, so the that could have been split up into 2 meals, but the cornbread was extremely dry, and I'm like, this is New Orleans. I thought y'all cooked better than that. But yeah, it was extremely dry, crusty, and inedible. I just couldn't eat the doggone cornbread. excuse me, I wasted $1 on the cornbread that I couldn't even eat. So I had absolutely nothing today, you know. But the mashed potatoes and corn was good yesterday, but the um the shrimp was good, but it didn't seem like it had enough seasoning for me, you know. And I think that was blackened fish, you know, blackened fish. So then I had nothing to eat for breakfast. And then today, excuse me, after those people had donated, you know, it wasn't too expensive, you know, but I had like, it was like a plate with shrimp fried rice and fried turkey wings. Not the drumstick, but not turkey legs, but just two big fat turkey wings. But I thought the wings would be baked, but it was fried turkey wings and shrimp fried rice. And then I had a couple of snacks and some lemonade. Um, excuse me, cheap. I mean, I had a few cheap snacks, and I was like feeling like I needed something. Like I felt bad to crave junk food, but you know, me stressing and feeling like I need some emotional comfort, you know. But I was planning to have the ham sandwich and boiled potatoes. I was gonna have that to be my dinner, but they didn't give me the boiled potatoes, so I just have um I had two small bags of golden Oreos. I shouldn't be eating that, you know. And I had, but I mean, so it took me an hour to eat all that, and then for dinner, I'm gonna have the ham sandwich and the two tiny small little bags of chips. The chips are expired. Well, at the front desk, they were selling snacks like cookies and chips and stuff, like four for $3, 4 packs of mixed match or whatever cookies and chips for $3. So you know, I felt the need to have like some like comfort food since I'm depressed. You know, so the turkey legs. I mean, the turkey leg plate was not really that expensive. It was $11.39. You know, and the boiled potatoes was supposed to be like 3.78, but then you know I didn't get it, so they refunded me $4 or something, maybe with tax and the other fees. And so the ham sandwich was like 6.49. So I'm saving the ham sandwich for later on because I don't know if it's still raining. Excuse me. I don't know if it's still raining. So, well, yesterday and this morning, they had a motel neighbor one or two doors down. And like I slept pretty good last night, but then after I woke up, my body felt weak, and I still felt the sleep deprived feeling. And even after I ate lunch, you know, they talk about turkey and the tryptophan. So that's probably why I felt kind of sleepy, but I wanted to hold out until tonight to fall asleep, go to sleep. So I thought that I said on one place that the motel checkout is at 10, but the man told me it's at 11 to check out. So I got enough help that I had excuse me. I got enough help that I had enough to eat today. But the man at the front desk said that these single rooms, that they don't have weekly rates on these single rooms, and that they're $75 a night, which was more than what I paid. It's more than what I paid on an app. So now I think I got $47 in the bank. Mm, $47 and something in the bank, you know, and then I got 40 something dollars in the bank and about $8 in paper and probably $2 in coins. I haven't counted the coins. Maybe about $2 or $3 in coins. So so like it's almost enough, kind of almost enough for you know if I mean, but at the moment, you know it stands that I have to check out the hotel, I mean the motel, excuse me, and be back on the streets tomorrow. Yeah, for the first time on the streets, for the first time since April. No, because I was in the hotel, I think, in that extended stay. I don't think I was on the streets April 1st or 2nd or anything like that. And the April 3rd, I left Cincinnati. And it took all that many days. No, it was April. No, it couldn't have took 2 days to get there. You know what? I already had an extra night that I paid. Um, I know I left Cincinnati. It could have been April 5th that I left Cincinnati. I don't remember what day it was, 4th or 5th. Excuse me. I just remember that it was April 6th when I arrived in Bloomington, Texas. I can't go to that haunted nightmare. Go back there. Excuse me. So, and they were threatening me and gang stalking me out there too. So I was, throughout the time of being in Bloomington, from April through late August, I was threatened twice since being there. I was threatened twice. So the perp motel neighbors, they had a guy, and I don't know if he was one or two doors down. He was perping with the red today. And each time that I try to step outside, he would step outside at the exact same time I do, and then trying to give me frightening and intimidating looks. He looked like his height was about somewhere between 5'7" and 5'9". He wasn't too tall, and he was a brown skinned, overweight guy, and I don't remember how his hair was, but yesterday, as soon as I got here, he was giving me mean looks for no reason at all. Never in my life saw his face before. And then today, the housekeeper knocked on the door at 9:19 a.m. this morning. I was already up. Excuse me. So it took me a couple of hours, but I was able to sleep pretty good last night, but still woke up with the sleep deprived feeling, but not as bad as yesterday. So yeah, they said that when the weekends and stuff comes, that they raised the prices on, like midweek and towards the weekend, they raised the prices on hotels and motels and stuff. So they don't have a weekly rate for a single room here unless they have like the kitchenette. This one doesn't have the kitchenette and all that. But he said that that one is about 400 a week or something like that. But I know of a place that they're supposedly 338 or 336 a week plus tax, and I don't know how much the deposit would be. You know, I don't know how much the deposit would be, but I'm surprised that I was getting help in Cincinnati. But this narcissistic control freak, fake Ti perp, he was donating and then trying to police and control, you know, how I should spend the money. And then next thing you know, he just randomly came out of nowhere and lied for an excuse to not help me anymore. And I never really asked him for anything. Excuse me. So, well, he tried to make it like as if he didn't have the money or couldn't afford to keep helping me, and then said that he was behind on bills trying to help me. And I don't know if he said that on purpose to make me feel really terrible. So, you know, and I don't even. It's always the narcissists who try to pretend that they don't trust you. Like, and me and my predicament right here, if they donate money, if they have regular people who will donate money and then they'll say God bless and then go on about their lives. But the narcissistic ones, they be like, they'll donate money for a hotel room and then say, and you better make sure you're spending it on a hotel room or something like that. And make me feel like really bad, you know. So, I mean, the price of the turkey wings would have probably been about the same as amount as like if I would have got chicken or something like that. But it wasn't like the turkey wing dinner was like 17.99 and that. No, it was 11.39. Excuse me. So, but I try to balance it out by the fact that I had nothing for breakfast today, didn't have enough money for breakfast today, but then eventually somebody helped me out, and then I try to make up for it for having like a cheap sandwich for dinner. So like I have almost almost enough possibly for a hotel room, you know. But as I said, as far as I know, I would have to check out of here and then be on the streets. And so the man from the Social Security Ticket to Work agency said that it's a name of a man. He told me that a man's name pops up on his caller ID. David something. I forgot what he said the last name was. If not David Robinson or Robertson, I don't remember. David something. And I'm wondering, well, that's strange. You're the first person ever told me that. Um, I paid a bill on this phone every month, and I had this phone for over a year. And I never knew that another person's name shows up on the caller ID for my phone. I never knew that for over a whole year. I had this phone since August 30th, and this phone and this number, excuse me, since August 30th of last year, 2022. So I don't remember the name of the person, but I kept on trying to tell that man that basically, well, I couldn't tell him about the targeting, but he kept on being like pushy about trying to get me into a shelter and try to lie and say that Ozanam in is good, and these shelters ain't good. And I didn't know that Ozanam in take in women now. But as I said, they beat they refuse to accommodate my disability. Shelters in general, and shelters, they're money hungry, exploitative, prison scam cults. And as I said, the TI community say stay away from the shelters, stay out of the shelters because of the cults and the trafficking and setups. Excuse me. So, and it's like with my OCD and my disability and hypersensitivity, shelters are, it's like a prison, and it's like very uncomfortable setup, very uncomfortable living, and I hate to be forced in this predicament to be told, oh, you're gonna have to. People with narcissistic personalities trying to tell me, and you're gonna have to. Well, what if there's no space in the shelters? I definitely can't go to New Orleans Mission. I already told y'all about them. Can't go to the Salvation Army. I already told y'all about them. So, basically, I'm really stuck. Even if it weren't for my disability and hypersensitivity, being targeted, they would still mob you out of the shelters anyway and force you back onto the streets. Or try to set you up to be institutionalized, jailed, or dead. Excuse me. So, that Whitney perp probably got paid a lot of money, you know, to force me out of there. To her and the other neighbors, they probably got paid to perp me out of there and make me back homeless again. I heard that they make the bigger money right there. Excuse me. So I'm really scared being back on the streets or in any of the shelters, you know. And as I said, the shelters be full and they charge money. A lot of the time they charge money and they're not free. And then you're paying to live in prison. You're paying to live in prison. So I can't even go to soup kitchens. Can't go to the shelters or soup kitchens. And the online gang stalkers probably got paid to help them make me back homeless again also. I mean, I could have had at least $400 right now. And in that, could have had at least $400, not have to ask for anything, and could have still kept that place. Excuse me. So And then even when the you know what started in 2020, the narcissistic control freak fake TI perps, excuse me, they were trying to say, they acting like they were frustrated and annoyed with me begging, you know, and then they try to talk about, it's always the narcissistic control freak, popular fake narcissistic control freak fake TI perps, or the fake TI perps with no videos, no profile. I mean, no videos and no face on a profile, and maybe one subscriber that try to talk like they know so much um about the TI community, and try to make like, well, and it be the popular fakes, or fakes with one subscriber and no face, you know, that try to talk about most TIs are broke and most TIs don't have money, or, you know, excuse me. Well, how are you claiming to be targeted, and you fraudulently and illegally got like a nice brand new four-door Chrysler, and you're living in a condo? You live in a condo, and you got your fundraiser up begging for money, talking about helping to end this program, helping to end this gang stalking program, when you participating in a gang stalking. So everybody wanted me to shut up and stop begging and go live in the woods, or go find a shelter, or go live in the woods. And they say it like as if they want me to get out of their hair or get off their back. And I'm like, well, why are you still subscribed to me if my videos get on your nerves? You know, so I mean, the police try to tell me in that video that, now I wish they would have got in trouble for saying something like that. That the neighbors exercising freedom of speech by threatening me, making threats, death threats, and threats to beat my ass. But how come they didn't tell me I was exercising my First Amendment freedom of speech by filming their gang stalking activity? No, with Miss Mary and Miss Shirley and them try to talk about that I broke the rules and it invaded the neighbor's privacy, and they all try to play ignorant. They they all try to play ignorant, but you know, people say that Whitney was one of the chief neighbors hitting me with direct energy weapons. And she pretty much got away with, like, she still fraudulently and illegally got that place to live. If she's committing a gang stalking crime, shouldn't she be the one to have to be homeless? But excuse me. But that's pretty sad that you sold your soul to the devil just to live in the fucking projects. Yeah, they were gang stalking me with regular ass cars in the fucking projects. Or how you got a brand new Chevy Traverse, but you living in the low income projects. I'm talking about that guy with that would walk around with the yellow Crocs. So like, how you sold your soul to the devil with a nice new vehicle and living in the projects? That might be explain why people, you know, back in the 90s and stuff, or early 2000s, used to live like in the St. Bernard projects here in New Orleans. You know, if they live in the St. Bernard projects, but they're rich enough to afford a smack brand new 2001 Cadillac Escalade, and they still glorify the project life or the hood life, you know, and still glorify ignorance. Excuse me. So So basically, I'm stuck and clueless. Like, I don't know what to do or where to go now. Um, but I was trying to, in the video this morning, I was trying to talk about narcissistic control freak fake TI perps that try to they don't want me to be scared, but they try to say things to manipulate for me to be extra paranoid and fearful, and then condemn me for being ashamed. I mean, I'm sorry, condemn me for being afraid. So they try to make me feel extra paranoid about food, like ordering food at restaurants or DoorDash or something like that. Like they had this narcissistic control freak fake TI perp um, that started dishing out advice I didn't ask for and being very bossy with telling me about how to, survive with food and stuff like that. And then he doesn't have any videos. He never shows his face. He got videos, but he never shows his face. And he never shows his face. And then he doesn't talk about targeting in any of his videos. But then he was privately acting like he as if he was telling me about such and such suffering that he claimed he was going through. But he acted like he wanted to try to manipulate me to be fearful and paranoid about stuff being done to my food. And then he acted like he wanted to try to warn me against voodoo and witchcraft. But then he tried to make like he wants to serve the one and true God. But then he's following you know, a whole bunch of occultists, new agers, and witches on TikTok. Like they have people who practice witchcraft, but then secretly practice witchcraft, and then pretend that they're warning you against witchcraft, and then they try to manipulate for you to be extra paranoid and fearful. You know, use a whole bunch of fear mongering. So you claim you believe in God, and you act like you're warning me a bit against witchcraft, but then and you acting like you're against the occult, but I see you secretly following occultists and new agers and people who practice the witchcraft. You know, I mean, I mean, people on YouTube and TikTok. So I'm trying to remember all the stuff I talked about in the video this morning that I deleted. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm feeling very afraid, whether it be shelter or the streets. I am very afraid to go tomorrow. And then I heard it's a lot of violence in the shelters. You could get hurt, and a lot of theft. A lot of theft. And then, they take away, the staff take away all your belongings, you know, and you grown adults and they won't even let you have your phone. But you pay to stay there. You can't eat what you want when you want, how much you want, but you pay to stay there. And it's like a prison detention. And then they have ass kissing fake staff favorites, like a teacher's pet, like a homeless shelter version of teacher's pet. And they be narcissistic and act like they delusionally believe that they have the authority of the staff, and you know they try to meddle in your business, and or they'll huddle together and gang up on you or bully you and mob you out of there. You know, excuse me. So as I said, none of my family want me around. And if I had to deal with them, I would not only have to be to abuse if they let me stay with them, not only subjected to abuse, but any money that I would have possession of, they would take it from me, steal it from me, or manipulate or coerce me to hand it over to them. And I would have no privacy, no freedom. And they would treat me like living in Mark is not in New Orleans, but living in Mark's household, he would treat me like a punished child in detention. And then any moment of standing up to him, trying to dog over and abuse me, it would be jail threats or threats to have me locked up in a mental institution. And my twin sister would do the same thing. So if I'm not treated like that, then I have to deal with them family members, if they try to set me up in a position where they try to push you up or try to set you up. Like if they commit a crime and then place you in a position where everything fall back on you, and then you get blamed or scapegoated, and then you get arrested and go into jail and have a criminal record. Excuse me. And then what's funny is if you get charged with a crime from something they set up, then they wouldn't even get charged for an accessory to a crime. You got to get set up to be in all this trouble by yourself. By yourself. When I got arrested and went to jail in Denton, Texas, when I first got there, and Mark took part in setting me up to have to get arrested. So, excuse me. And everything fell back on me. When I had already graduated from college, and it seemed like as if he wanted to push me up to go back to college just so he could steal my student loan money, because that would be easy money for him to take, and which pushed me in further debt. So this was back in 2007. And then they had if he wouldn't have done that, then they had the guy who scammed me online, which was and wrote me a fake check. That was the direct reason how I ended up. And I didn't know that the check was fake or that it was from a bank account that didn't exist. Excuse me. And that racist white lady, she, because I'm black, there were a whole bunch of racists up in Denton, Texas. They wanted me to go to jail. But, I showed proof of everything that happened online. Excuse me. And they threw out the case and expunged. I had to get the records expunged. So I don't even have that as a criminal record. But Mark, has had moments where he had a warrant out for his arrest or in trouble for such and such crime, or certain other family members being in trouble for this and that crime or whatever. Excuse me. So I would have to deal with family members, taking advantage of my Social Security checks, or, if I had to stay with them. And they would take like Ramona would take my money and go, like, take the whole $910 Social Security check and then gamble it, all that money, and lose it in like 3 minutes on the slot machines at the casino. And then demand more money that I don't have. Excuse me. And then if I didn't have it, she would pick an argument for an excuse to throw me out her house or create a, a manufactured fake mental health crisis that would cause me to have an emotional meltdown. And then she would get friends of the family and other outside extended family to hate me and want nothing to do with me. Excuse me. So any money that I come into or any money that I get, the family they confiscate it faster than it can hit my bank account. Excuse me. And then, even now, I guess I still struggle with assertiveness and saying no or standing up to people. But like ever since after finding out for sure about being targeted, I've been getting better at it. Like that lesbian couple yesterday, I was trying to put my foot down to stand up to them because they were trying to find out um the exact motel I was trying to go to and they try to manipulate me to feel stupid and say that I wasn't making sense because I was trying to not let them know. I mean, both of them were perping with the red, and they both were wearing they both were wearing like gold braids, gold twists in their hair. But the feminine one went out of her way to actually help me more, you know. But the masculine one really wanted to try to make me feel stupid. But all I just like I knew where the address where I was going to, but I was just I knew the address where I was going to, but I was just trying to make sure that I was at the right bus stop because they had like by Loyola and Tulane, one by the library, some by the library and some across the street. So I was trying to make sure I was at the right bus stop rather than, or if the stop was across the street or down the street or whatever. So that's all I was trying to figure out. But they both were wearing red, and they try to narcissistically make me feel really stupid. But as I said, the feminine one, who was older than the masculine one, she actually, went out of her way to help me out and was looking out for me. But the masculine one, she just wanted me to feel really stupid, really, really dumb, and young enough to be my child. So, and then that's the same bus where I was assaulted by that teenage girl. Well, she looked like a teenager. Excuse me. So, like that teenage perp yesterday was trying to, she assaulted me and was trying to provoke me to fight her. When I haven't dealt with a violent situation in a while. Well, last year, with that cottage cafe thing, was physically assaulted. So, and abused. So, excuse me. So, I mean, but, other than that, I be just trying to stay to myself, you know. Excuse me. So, but this phone, you know, this phone, well, with these temporary, I guess, chargers, when me trying to do a video, it seems like as if when me trying to do a video, excuse me, like if I do a video like I'm doing now, I don't know why it would take, if the phone is charged halfway, it would take 10 more hours for the phone to charge. So for me to try to I can't excuse me. I tried to go to the library downtown New Orleans yesterday, and ever since the 19 started, they said everything changed. So I try to go upstairs where it's quiet, and they say you have to be researching something, actively researching, genealogy or something. Excuse me. And it was quiet with not many people. And Perps followed me up there too. It was quiet with not many people, and then I couldn't even charge my phone. Excuse me, I couldn't even charge my phone. It was quiet with not many people. But I knew it would be trouble if I would be downstairs, so that's why I try to go upstairs and away from everybody. So, and I can't go to Rouse's, the fact that they only allow you 1 hour. And there's hardly much of any place to charge your phone at the Riverwalk. And then the Westin Hotel, they want you to buy an alcoholic drink in order to be able to sit down, you know, and charge your phone. Well, I don't drink alcohol. Narcissistic family members don't want me drinking alcohol anyway. So, I mean, the places I used to be able to charge my phone, but then again, like I wasn't really it wasn't until like shortly before I left for Pensacola was when I was doing lots of videos recording gang stalking. And once I started being vocal and outspoken about gang stalking, you know, that's when, the attacks got worse. So I mean, I don't even have, I mean, it's very difficult for me to find somewhere where I could have the liberty to charge my phone and sit at a certain place all day, you know, and charge my phone. But now it's like you can't even have any comfort, or like they run homeless off from just about everywhere. Even if I walked around with one bag. But here in New Orleans, there was no place for me to be able to use the bathroom. Hotels overnight, they did not let you use the bathroom. And it's torture to be forced to hold your pee in or walk around and it's cold at night and you're walking around with pissy wet clothes. So then well, like now I don't have a storage unit anymore. And even when I did, I wasn't allowed to sleep in a storage unit. So I'm not getting another storage unit. So with the storage unit, I was able to store my belongings and valuables and important papers and everything, and even food. the one here in New Orleans, but in Pensacola, I wasn't allowed to store food or anything. But well, excuse me. So, so like, there's no peaceful, quiet spot to go. Like, I cannot have like a hiding spot or a spot to store my belongings or hide my belongings, or I'm not allowed to have like um a homeless sleep spot or a potty spot at all overnight, like I was able to do in Pensacola, while being not being bothered or harassed by cops. But then, like, the only way downtown Pensacola, if the police will harass you and tell you to leave, is if the business owner called and complained, or perps pretending to be business owners lying, and the police being just dumb and fall for it. But other than that, the police left me alone downtown Pensacola. But in downtown Cincinnati, being homeless, it was too so cold I could have died. And then had nerves of freaking rain too. I was suffering, and no, the hotels would not let you go to the bathroom. But me being at that park downtown Cincinnati, they had that black guy who bullied, harassed, and threatened me, and was about to put his hand. He threatened to kill me, and he was about to put his hands on me. But I kept trying to film and record. He did like the shitney perk. Waited till immediately after I turned off the phone camera, then he threatened me, and that's what she did. Threatened. So I mean, I'm an author and blogger. I have ebooks and short stories, and I even forget that I'm an author. And you know, when I try to accomplish goals, excuse me, and I try to accomplish goals, in the cabin in Bloomington, Texas, and when I try to accomplish goals, they had they kept attacking me with the direct energy weapons, and I felt like they were killing me up in there. And then, even a couple of weeks ago, or last week, trying to accomplish goals in that apartment, and they made me back homeless again. When I was trying to make attempts at doing things to try to improve and better my life. So, now, yeah. So if this whole motel, they said $75 a night, but on the app, I was able to pay like $58 and something, per night. But I don't know if it will be the same price. But now I don't have $58. I almost, but not quite. But yeah, what could have been $213 a month. The big scam is it's dangerous, and you can lose your life. Yeah, that 213 and trying to live in peace. Yeah, it sounded too good to be true. You know, And it's very, as I said, it's very hard to try to get people to believe that you really are being bullied, and they don't they with the gang stalking and gaslighting, they try to make like the gang stalking activities is just normal life. When Whitney and the other perps would be strategic at certain time points with me trying to either take a nap, or not take a nap, I meant to say go to bed or try to take a shower. Excuse me. Yeah, all my bills, like the rent plus my phone plus the electricity, all could have been, you know, all together less than $300. And I could have had a lot of money left. Well, over $500 left over. But then, if I would have had food stamps, that would be unless I have to pay in more money in my pocket. Excuse me. So they all teamed up together to fuck up everything. And now they're talking about they don't want me to beg or ask for no help, or they're mad. The online gang stalkers, they admitted that they're mad. Well, if y'all wouldn't have teamed up to sabotage my place to live, then I wouldn't have to be begging and asking for help now. Y'all did this to me. Because they've been plotting since the first day to try to find out what my address is and where I'm staying at. It really disgusts me that, all the torment and harassment and abuse, and then y'all falsely condemn me as the troublemaker or the one that causes problems when it's y'all bullying and doing this to me. And it was the same shit in junior high and high school as in college and stuff as well. Excuse me. I almost got wrongfully evicted within the first week of staying at New Orleans Towers because of, apartment neighbors, bullying me and harassing me and trying to take advantage of me. Trying to take advantage of my money and stuff. So my mind is not even clear enough due to the sleep deprivation and the high stress and all what I'm going through. Oh, it's not even, they hit me right here in my right side underneath my boobies, on my right side. So I can't even think, to write any short stories. Like right when I wrote the foster care ebook and the mental health ebook, the ebooks and the writing didn't turn out the way I really wanted to, or it wasn't at my best. Excuse me. And the cookbook that I try to write and publish. And the online gang stalkers, they attacked and sabotaged those. And, they bully and act like tattletales. Calling up the Social Security and telling them, about me. So, fake Social Security, you fuckers don't even run my life like you think you do. As I said, I never asked for this life in the beginning. The fake foster moms' greed and selfishness. Excuse me. As rich as she was, $500 should that ought to have been crumbs to her. But she would rather, have me enslaved, forced enslaved to fake Social Security and SSI. So all they give us crumbs anyway. They give nothing but crumbs. So they bullied me and sabotaged my housing, and then for me to end up back in hotels or back homeless, they falsely accused me of being a scam and fraud. When the online gang stalking criminals, they all that hide behind anonymity, they all need to be caught and locked up. They're the criminals. But they're becoming more and more aggressive and vicious and desperate. They're becoming more aggressive, vicious, and desperate. And do not care about how they make me feel. Do not care about how I have to suffer. So now I can't even get, like, there's like the first priority is to try to get an address suitable for a driver's license plus a mailing address. And I can't use 1530 Gravier Street because of the gang stalking. Don't have family I can get to help me. And I don't have any address I can use. I never been in this predicament before, really, like that. So the homeless perps will bully, harass, and threaten me, waiting in a line for 1530 Gravier Street every day, and the same thing with every outdoor or indoor soup kitchen. Arguing and fussing with them, and then bullying, harassing, and threatening me. So it seems like, I don't even know if my days are numbered. And it seems like the whole world is pretending to be God. People pretending to be God. It seems like everybody's mad at me and hates me. Excuse me. With only a few people to be supportive. So I'm just really scared right now. you know, and then now the online perps are falsely accusing me of behaving like a rabid dog, and they want me put to death. They want me put to death. It's really scary. So to be scared with little to no money, out on the streets, no place to use the bathroom, and for me to go to any shelter to get wrongfully banned anyway, or kicked out anyway. the food is the food at shelters make people sick. I don't know about killing people, but the food at shelters make people sick. Excuse me. It's traumatizing, really scary. It's like the shelters is like prison without physical handcuffs. The shelters is run like detention centers, and a lot of people don't even question it. And the rich folks who never experienced it before, they falsely assume that shelters is good. So the fake New Orleans mission the cult members gave them high reviews, like high Google reviews. I said the mind control is working, you know, and even other homeless people in New Orleans basically they said like New York that shelters is not for everybody, and now I see what they mean. You know, some people due to disability or certain other thing, you know, can't be in a shelter, or they're traumatized by being in a shelter because in Los Angeles they say the shelters is too much like prison and they can't go because it reminds them, traumatizes them all over again, and it reminds them of being in prison, of exactly how it was in prison. You know, so I mean, I don't even know what the online gang stalkers are planning behind my back. But you know, as I said, that one big YouTube cult that's ran by my own twin sister though. My own twin sister is running a cult, and her cult following flying monkeys. You know, they're making arrangements to have me totally eliminated, exterminated. Excuse me. If you wouldn't have sabotaged my place, I wouldn't have to be begging now. I would be in my own apartment. I could still could have been there. So now it seems like I have to keep my possessions and belongings to a minimum. To a point where my college degree and high school diploma, I'm carrying it around in my backpack. I might have to throw those away too. I might have to throw away my college and high school diplomas. Throw them away too. Since everybody's trying to used to tell me with a jealous kind of attitude, jealous and angry attitude, telling me that my degree means nothing. Even a fake foster sister, hell, fake Shelly, she treated me like that too, telling me that my degree means nothing. Until this day, the bitch is still fucking jealous and envious, jealous of me, and yet think they're better. Shelly's a fucking perp. And I don't have any intentions of going back over by her house either, and they don't want me around. For me to be homeless, oh yeah, Shelly would definitely be extra abusive if I had to live with her. Or treat me like as if I'm in her personal prison. Or act like she delusionally believes she's my handler or something. So all this, that's what people say. This is like what I'm going through. They say it's a like satanic ritual abuse from occultic witches, warlocks, or whatever. From occultists, occultists. That this is, you know, satanic ritual abuse and MK Ultra, the mind control. I mean, they said that for a person to not have stability and like with living and all that, to be bouncing around. I heard if you're a child going through that, they said that that's one thing to split a child's mind. You know, if a child is homeless or bouncing around from place to place, you know, and so I'm an adult now, but they said foster care is one thing to traumatize and split the child's mind. And a lot of people in the foster care system, black magic, witchcraft, LGBTQIA, they all go together. like a whole bunch of sodomite fake foster parents that's gonna do voodoo and witchcraft on the child and manipulate and MK Ultra and mind control the child, and then set the child up to be a targeted individual and suffer homelessness and be blacklisted before they can even get out of foster care. Excuse me. And they're getting worse with it. They're getting worse. Uh, so and I'm feeling like after what I went through, excuse me, at this recent place in Pensacola, and also what I went through with this other Section 8 and places to live, like I feel traumatized and scared to try to live in low income government assistance anymore. I feel traumatized and scared to live in low income government assistance anymore. But at the same time, it's traumatic and scary dealing with homelessness and shelters and stuff too, or the streets or whatever, or jail or prison or the mental institution. Excuse me. So I'm glad and thankful I was able to have, something to eat today. And as I said, almost enough for like another, you know, another night in the hotel. But about $45 or $47 now. If I were to get enough for a hotel room, and then be able to pay for it, but then have no money for food or bus fare. Excuse me. So this morning in the video that I deleted, I thought to myself, if I could have a job where I can get paid at least $125 a day, minimum, which I haven't even been able to get paid that much. But if I could get like at least $125 a day, um, you know, then you know I probably could pay for my own hotel room, food, and transportation. But like $125 a day and 5 days a week, that's still, um, let's see, that would be like 625 a week. But I've known people who get paid more than that per week. But they have the Amazon DSP driver job that pays like $19 an hour. But what's holding me back is for me to not be able to switch my driver's license to Louisiana, and for me to not have like an address. But and also another thing, the sleep deprivation, and you know, so but like but I mean, if I could excel at that, that could keep me going. But I'm just stuck and clueless right now. I mean, and I'm frightened. I'm very afraid. So people. they want me to feel extra paranoid about stuff being done to my food from restaurants or DoorDash or something, you know, or ordering food or whatever. But I yeah, it's like the people who really have the heart to want to help. It seems like they're they're financially struggling and targeted, you know. But I'm trying to not let myself mentally go. I'm trying to not let myself go insane. You know, I'm trying to not let myself go insane behind everything that just happened. I mean, rob me of my place to live. And it's like, in order to get what they call the permanent supportive housing, you can't get it until or unless they force you back into the mental health system, in which the TI community says to avoid the mental health system at all costs. Avoid the hospitals, the mental health system, and shelters. And they even tell me to avoid fast food. And so, well, at least I knew I was eating real turkey wings rather than mystery meat. And McDonald's is not even cheap no more. Like at the McDonald's in Pensacola, when I saw their menu, um, this was it this past Friday. I wanted to cry. It was so expensive. I wanted to cry. Can't even afford McDonald's no more. Excuse me. And McDonald's, like they said, a human meat in McDonald's, and some people say stop eating GMO food, but if you're homeless, I'm homeless. Excuse me. I'm homeless, and I don't like. I wish I could have more natural juices and fruit and vegetables and healthy stuff to eat. You know, but I mean, I'm really upset about how everything happened. You know, yeah. So I'm sorry if I sound repetitive at certain things that I said. Excuse me. So I'm really frightened of. I don't know where I'll be tomorrow. But to be out on the streets in downtown New Orleans, you know, with no place to use the bathroom and being gang stalked and harassed and noise campaigns and mosquitoes tearing you up, no place to go. And people are unfriendly, more unfriendly when trying to beg and panhandle. They are far more unfriendly. The abusive, narcissistic, fake, rich tourists, far more unfriendly than Pensacola. And they're unfriendly enough in Pensacola. And they're not friendly um, in Cincinnati either. They're not friendly. And it seemed like this world system wants you to fear them as God or fear them more than the real God when they're just people. They're just people and sinners, wrongdoers. So I feel disappointed because I really wanted. I didn't know that the turkey wings would be fried. I thought the turkey wings would be baked or something. But yeah, I mean, I know I ate trash food today, you know, but I feel like I have the desire to want to be able to eat more nutritious. But as I said, so much fried, catfish, shrimp, um, French fries, burgers, you know, or I mean, I guess New Orleans cuisine has a lot of unhealthy food, but it tastes so good a lot of the times. But or beignets or whatever, the deep fried or fried foods. I need to try to be more watchful, you know. But it's very, as I said, it's very hard while you're homeless to try to do something like that. Trying to eat more nutritious, trying to eat healthier. You know, so I don't even know where I could be welcome at being homeless and then forced to wear the same clothes every day. And, you know, I'm really scared. So, as I said, I'm trying to not let myself lose my sanity. So, and I have to remind myself that I'm an author, I'm a writer, and the online perps think they got the authority to lie and say that I'm not an author, a blogger, or a writer. And they try to destroy everything good going for me, sabotage and destroy everything good going for me. If it was, and if I point out that they sold their soul to the devil in exchange for nice cars and houses, they will lie on me and say that I'm jealous of them or that I don't want them with a car and a house. But if it was 1994 and they had the $1.39 All American meal and somebody donated me $2 for an All American meal, the online perps would have a meltdown and be jealous of that. So they think that that I act like I think I'm too uppity and bougie to eat at fast food restaurants. Well, if I eat at Wendy's, I get condemned for that too. If I get told that I deserve to die of a heart attack if I eat donuts or Dairy Queen. So I get told that I deserve to die of heart attacks if I eat donuts or Dairy Queen. But then I get told that, oh, you think you're too uppity, too good to eat at Burger King or McDonald's or something. So I'm just they're making it very difficult for me to try to survive. And then like the so-called TI community sees me as a burden. Even the ones that say that they're part of the body of Christ and God's chosen elect 144,000. And that's the cult like elitist mentality of the abusive, narcissistic, control freak, popular fake TI perps that think that they're superior and better than everybody else. But they have only a few, not many, but very few people that's supportive and understand. You know, and I feel really terrible to be forced to be in a predicament where I have to be a burden. As and I really wanted to be independent and not have the need to ask for help. You know, so like now I'm in a predicament where I'm scared. Where I have to choose between. Well, I barely have enough for another motel or hotel night, and or some night certain times have to choose between being on the streets and having food, or being in a hotel and having no money or really no transportation. But you people would hate for me to ask for 40 cents for a bus ride. People won't even they wouldn't even they're too selfish to even donate $1 or even spread the word to help to get at least $1. Or they would get attacked for asking for help for you. And it's like people are so vicious and cruel, and then they're the main ones who be the first to want to talk about how you should stay positive and be positive or think positive while they're out here doing evil. They're doing evil beyond comprehension, but expect you to always think and be positive. So, somebody told me about motel vouchers, but it doesn't seem like I could get them right away. Or I don't even know if these agencies have any funds for them. So, I'm very scared and nervous. So, I'm going to try to work on a little bit of writing today.